All right, this is Talkin with T, and my name's TJ. I have a podcast that this is the inaugural edition. I guess you can put it that way. I like to talk to people. I'm interested in people from the Dakotas and Minnesota. Somehow you're connected to it. And in my first show ever, I've got a radio personality, Turner.
And a fellow T.
Yes. So that all fits. So Turner Blaufuss, you're with me right now.
You're talking with T. I'm talking with T.
That's right. We're all T, capital T now. There's two of us. They're T squared.
The guests can only start with a T. Yeah, you're going to have a Tanner coming through here every week.
T squared. So
I can give you a good list of all the names I always get: Tanner, Tucker, Tyler, Trevor, Truman, Terry.
I bet you do. You get everything. Yeah, nobody ever thinks of Turner?
No, nobody thinks of Turner. I have a lot of people who say, no, I meant your first name when I tell them my name's Turner. And they say, no, I meant your first name. I was like, yeah. I think it's more of a last name, too. My parents didn't take notes. So.
Well, there's got to be a Turner out there.
There's a couple. The funny thing is I keep getting told, your name just fits you so well. And I always say because you haven't met another Turner, so you don't really have anything to compare it to. But there's another Turner out there who I will claim as a fellow Turner because he's pretty out there like me. Then there's another one who I say gives Turner's a bad name because he's like a super normal, well-adjusted guy. And I'm like, you got to make it all of us look bad, man. But so he doesn't really fit the mold of a true Turner, but he's getting there.
You're probably the most memorable Turner when people meet you.
I hope not. That's a sad existence for the rest of the Turners then.
So Turner and I sit on the radio on Monday mornings to discuss another business that I have, a coffee shop that I have, and we just started talking about, well, before we go on the air, we talk about all kinds of crazy stuff that makes us laugh, and we're starting to slowly add it into the radio time, but we don't have a lot of it, and we have such interesting ways of looking at the world. For example, you brought up the other day, is it acceptable to wear like NBA jerseys, for example, if you're a full-grown adult, as part of your wardrobe?
Yep.
And I'm still on the fence with that. I had to think about that, and now I can't help it. Every time I go somewhere and I see a jersey, baseball, football, NBA, don't matter. I think, is that acceptable now? How old is that person? I mean, do we have to set guidelines for this first? I mean, should you be under a certain age? Can you be over a certain age?
I think there's going to be a lot of rules to this, and we should dive into it and try to set the guidelines. For example, some people, if they get to a certain age, can rock NBA jerseys, but it has to be a certain NBA jersey. I think it would be a little jarring if I saw you walk in, TJ, rocking a Ja Morant jersey. That'd be kind of surprising. However, if you came in maybe rocking a Larry Bird jersey, maybe. I don't know. Larry Bird, maybe.
Dr. J?
Dr. J. Okay, that would even be better. Because if it's a throwback one, it seems to kind of fit it a little better.
I think it fits a little better.
Let me tell you about watching Dr. J when I was a lad. Something like that.
That's right. And I was a lad. He was my hero. I think that's probably, I think it's appropriate. Depends on what you're doing, I suppose. I see this guy all the time. Not all the time. Occasionally. He's always wearing an Orlando Magic jersey. Doesn't matter if I see him coming out of the gym or if I see him here or there. It's just different players. He likes his Orlando Magic, and that's obviously when he says, I feel like going to my go-to today, he grabs his Orlando Magic jersey. Pick one. Penny Hardaway, Shaq, don't matter.
Man, I the Penny Hardaway one, the black one, the black Penny Hardaway jersey is iconic. That's a favorite of mine. My little brother had a T-Mac jersey, Orlando Magic one, that I was always really jealous of. And then we would go to Orlando on vacation, and that's all I'd wear. He'd just blend in with the locals. He'd wear that all week.
Right.
And we go to Florida. We're like looking forward to, I'm looking forward to going to, Busch Gardens. And, my other brother's looking forward to going to SeaWorld or going to the beach. And then there's my other brother who just wants to go to the basketball court and rock his T-Mac jersey, which, to each their own. That's all my little brother did on vacation.
You didn't look like tourists, though. I mean, if you had your Orlando Magic jersey, you were local.
Just blending in.
Blending in.
I don't really think, I'm trying to think of like a current Orlando Magic player. I mean, Jalen Suggs, just because he's from Minnesota, that'd be one that what I would think of to get a jersey for.
Right.
But other than that, I can't really think of one. But the reason that I faced this dilemma when I was telling you about it is I hadn't bought an NBA jersey for myself in many, many, many years. I think the last time I got one was high school, maybe. I think I got a Michael Beasley jersey kind of as a joke. Because
really?
Michael Beasley was my second favorite player at the time. So I was
Beasley
like,
got his 8 cents of royalties off that. That's good.
Exactly. He was on the Wolves at the time. So I was like, planning on going to a Timberwolves game. I had this event that I got invited to where you got to shadow all of the media that covered the Timberwolves. And so I was part of that, and you couldn't wear a jersey to it. You had to dress up like the media was dressing up, unfortunately. So I was like, well, I guess I don't need this jersey anymore. But my wife got me an Anthony Edwards jersey because he's been killing it this year.
He has.
He's been amazing. And
is it a road jersey or a home jersey?
Well, they wear the darker ones on the road, right? And they wear the whites at home. Because that always messes me up. I always think
never
whites
understood
should be on the
that
road.
about the game of basketball. It was white at home. I'm not sure why that is.
I always think that the whites should be I always think whites should be on the road. That's just me. I remember when I was growing up, North Dakota and Minnesota actually did it the opposite. So North Dakota always had white at home, and then Minnesota had, your home color at home. So whenever the two teams from Lopton and Breckenridge, Minnesota and North Dakota would play each other, the jerseys were already set. No matter if they were doing North Dakota rules or Minnesota rules,
right.
You're going to see one team in green, the other team in white. So it was a staple for every year. But I mean, and then I think of other jerseys like that I would personally buy. WeFest. If you ever want to come across some awesome throwback jerseys, WeFest, there's always some young guys walking around. You'll see a Mike Bibby jersey that you haven't thought about in many moons. Let me think. Some other just obscure players. That's when it's fun. When it's an obscure player, it's just like, wait, is that one-time All-Star Jeff Teague that you're rocking the jersey for? The Pacers Jeff Teague? Oh.
You want to go really far back, not too long ago. I mean, it was in horrible shape, but it was a Pooh Richardson jersey.
Ooh, nice. Was that your first Wolves one?
Wasn't even mine. It was someone else wearing it.
Oh, gotcha.
And I had to do a double take and think Richardson, and then I looked at the font. I had to really go back into the database of my memory, which is slowly deteriorating. But then I realized, holy crap, that's Pooh Richardson. He should be framing that thing or something, or giving it to the NBA archives or something. That thing might be worth money.
It's an original. Well,
oh my gosh.
What color was it?
White.
Oh, that looks nice too.
White. Yep.
The tough part about the Timberwolves thing, I think this is why I held off on buying a jersey for so long, is they've just never really caught up to the level of those KG jerseys.
No.
And I wish that there was a way that you could bring those back, but also modernize it and then just make that your primary jersey. And what happened to even primary jerseys? I feel like only 4 franchises don't switch up their jerseys every single year, which is another reason I feel like I don't buy jerseys a lot, because it's do you want to buy those jerseys and then 2 years later you never see them again, and
right,
it's kind of stand out of the game, like those City League ones last year? Remember those? The City Edition for the Wolves?
Yep.
Oh. Those were a nightmare. If someone would have bought me that for my birthday, I would be respectfully, I would like to return this and buy another jersey if possible.
Well, like the Twins, when the Major League Baseball's gone to their City League uniforms. Mm-hmm. Now this year they look like beer league softball uniforms. Are terrible. But last year they had the off-white, and they were one of the nicer ones in Major League Baseball, that cream color. Mm-hmm. Well, I bought a sweatshirt of that color. And I thought, well, this is kind of nice. I was at the playoff game. I was rocking it. I was part of the team. And now Nike's gone and completely overhauled that again. And they're terrible. And then you got the numbers that don't fit right. And they have that big arc if you have a really long last name, like Salta Lamakiel. I forgot who he used to play for. It was an arc around the numbers. It was... oh my God!
Or the guys.
This is why maybe you should be careful about not legalizing marijuana, because people start creating stuff like that. I don't know.
I always I think the hyphenated names are always interesting too. Like how you get both of those on there. Would you think about rolling with one? I don't know. I'd maybe just be maybe just put the first one on there. But
let me ask you: if let's say you have children and you have to take them to the doctor. Mm-hmm. Before you go to the doctor, if you were rocking an NBA jersey, would you still go, being a dad? Would you still have the NBA jersey on?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think of, I think, I'm trying to see where the limit is. If I take the family out for dinner, maybe if it's a nice restaurant, probably not. But if it's just a normal sit-down place where, there really aren't expectations, you can rock sweatpants there, I feel like maybe that's the bar. If you can rock sweatpants at this establishment, an NBA jersey should also be fine.
I think that's a good guideline. Yeah, because you're seeing sweatpants you see them everywhere, and you see people wearing PJ bottoms. So, hell, if someone's going to wear a PJ bottom, you can pull out the NBA jersey.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, if it's you could wear one of your finer NBA jerseys if you want.
Yeah. And then I'm trying to think of other reasons it would be unacceptable. should I not be wearing? Should I not wear an O.J. Simpson jersey to church? You know, like kind of like that. Like that's not ideal.
I would hope your wife would tell you to go change on that one. Yeah. But if you could say, but it's not the Buffalo Bills one, it's the San Francisco 49er jersey. That's different.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah, that's a good point there. Yeah. For years after Ray Lewis got proven, was he proven innocent or was it claim? Oh, the charges were dropped in the Super Bowl, the murder charge of
Correct.
Ray Lewis.
Yep.
There would be times when that whole fiasco was going on. I would see people walking around with Ray Lewis jerseys, and I'm like,
I can't tell if it's a statement or if you're doing this to be funny.
I don't know if you're just trying to be a rebel or if this is a statement or if you're in unity with him. But I don't know about that one. Same with the OJ one. I will admit to the 8 people that probably hear this that I would buy an OJ Simpson jersey and frame it. Mm-hmm. Because unfortunately, before the Brentwood incident, I mean, he was kind of an a-hole, but as a player, he was one of the best I ever watched.
2,000-yard rusher in 14 games.
First one.
That's crazy.
He was great. I mean, yeah. I mean, but if someone said, "Do you like to buy a raffle ticket to have dinner with OJ?" I think I'll pass on that one.
No.
Yeah, I think there's other people I'd probably have dinner with. Bernie Madoff, maybe, but OJ, maybe not. I don't know.
I'll settle for OJ. You know, if that's the best celebrity I can get.
So how many NBA jerseys do you have?
Oh, literally just the one now. Like, that's what I'm saying. I hadn't bought one in so long.
Because we have no guidelines.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I got a signed Wally Zerbiak jersey down the hall.
Nice.
That my mom and dad got me at an auction when I was younger, and then a couple years later they got me a signed Wally Zerbiak ball to go with it.
Oh my!
And then my now coworker Robert, when he was hiring here, he came into my office and was hanging out, and he looked up and he goes, "Is that a Wally Zerbiak jersey?" I go, "Yeah, it is." And he goes, "Is the ball signed by him too?" I go, "Yeah, it is." And he goes, "Would you believe me if I told you I had a warm-up signed by him that I'm not very attached to and really would just give it to you?"
Oh, my.
I was like, oh, my gosh, the Wally shrine continues.
Man, you have your own Wally Hall of Fame there.
Yeah.
But that jersey's off limits.
Oh, yep, yeah, I can't be rocking that one.
I have a Jared Allen jersey that way.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Excuse me. Yes, I have a Jared. Yes.
Jared Allen one?
Yep,
There you go.
I have a signed Jared Allen jersey that is just put away nicely in wrap and et cetera. I am going to frame it one day, but I have a ton of jerseys. No NBA ones anymore, but I have. I do have a Gopher baseball jersey.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of like I think the jerseys that I have, because the Michael Beasley one, I don't really count that one because I think I ended up having to like send it back because I didn't wear it to that event, so I had it very briefly. But I think the only like time I've actually, the jerseys I can think of that I've worn, like am owned to worn, I think they've all been like generational talents for Minnesota. So apparently the bar is pretty high. So
obviously
I get a Randy Moss jersey when I'm a kid. You know, that's just like every kid in Minnesota had one.
Every kid in Minnesota.
I had a KG jersey that I inherited from my older brother.
Every kid in Minnesota.
The black one, of course, with the green tree trim. Oh, that's still the GOAT. So I had the KG one. And then I held off until the Michael Beasley one we're skipping once again. And then I got an Adrian Peterson jersey. I remember that one. I had to twist my arm to get that one early because it was supposed to be a Christmas present. But then a buddy of mine hit me up saying his dad had 3 tickets for Monday Night Football to see the Bears. And I was like, come on, Mom, you know, I know you're getting me that jersey. Like, let's get that a little early.
Let's crack that open.
She made an exception, and my wife actually wore it to Jersey Day like a month ago during some week they were having. So I'm glad it's still getting use from someone other than me in 7th or 6th grade or whenever it was. It was AP's rookie year, I remember.
Yeah.
But so then after that, it was Anthony Edwards. So I guess nobody.
Well, you've had some gap years in
there. Exactly. Well, Minnesota sports, you know.
Well, yeah, yeah, absolutely. I can't knock you though. I had an alternate Joe Mauer jersey that I think you could only buy at Target. I
think I had a Torrey Hunter one growing up.
You had a Torrey,
yeah,
and I wore it in the summer from time to time. But I have to admit, I went through this whole long spell of not having a jersey. I have a Jack Del Rio jersey. I'm really dating myself here. I have an old, Tommy Kramer jersey that is gone. And I had a Culpepper jersey. I'm trying to remember. I got the Jared Allen jersey, Everson Griffith jersey. And asked my wife, I never wear them out. Just because when you're a Viking fan, there's always a target on your back for somebody.
You're asking for
my wife will tell you that I'll put all these Viking paraphernalia on during a game. If they win, I'll leave it on. If I got to run errands, then I'll go do it. If they lose, I immediately take it off. I put it back.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's better than the brown paper bag philosophy.
I don't do I can't do that. But my wife doesn't even have to watch. Stacy doesn't even have to watch the game. If she sees me go into the bedroom and take it off, she goes, "They lost, huh?" Yeah.
I thought you meant like at the stadium. Like you're just ripping it off at the
I
stadium.
would no. I just put a coat over it.
Yeah, that's a good story.
But I was in I had a purple. It was a skull. It was just a T-shirt. It wasn't a jersey. It said skull. Had the outline of Minnesota right here on the chest. It said skull. And my sister's a Phoenix or Arizona Cardinal season ticket holder. 40-yard line right behind the Viking bench. So every time the Vikings play in Phoenix, I fly down and we go to the game. And I hung out with.
You got to see that heartbreaker.
Patterson,
that
when he was there.
heartbreaker a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Oh.
Patterson, a couple of years ago when Teddy was there, Patterson was there. I shook his hand, a couple other guys. But the year they missed that field goal, that was a toughie because we were all surrounded by Cardinal fans. And I'm just thinking, oh, dear, if there's a football guy, just please make Joseph make this kick. I just need to have you make this kick because this is going to be tough to get out of here alive. And he missed. Oh. And I literally, my sister goes, "Are you ready to go?" I said, "Hell no. I'm going to sit here and let the crowd disperse a little bit."
Yeah, they're not going to come get me up here.
That was tough, but so I couldn't take the shirt off there because I had nothing on underneath. So for the sake of mankind, I kept it on. But yeah, it's jerseys are an interesting thing. And then do you get the authentic jersey? Do you get the replica jersey? What do you do?
I always say go with the, whatever is the standard. That's mine because, like I was saying earlier, I always hate when you get like the classic one because you're always going to affiliate with that year. If it's a good year, then roll with that. But I mean, like looping back to the City Edition again, I would think of how horrible we mixed with Rudy Gobert when we got him. So if every time I looked at that City Edition one, I'd be like, ugh, that year was so frustrating. Cat missed 50 games, and I mean. We were lucky we made the playoffs, but at the same time, that was such a frustrating season to watch. And but I'm trying to think of any other jerseys that I did own, like that I'm just maybe gapping on. Because when you said Culpepper, I was like, wait a minute, I had a Culpepper jersey too, now that I think of it. But there was a long stretch. I thought about getting a K-Love jersey at one point when he had like that 30-30. Yeah. I was like, holy. Like
you couldn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, I was like this guy looks like me out there because I had just started growing my beard at the time, so I was like, and I considered myself someone who could get on the glass. That was about the only thing I could do out there. So like I had my old mentor. He told me he was just like, "Oh, I see a little Kevin Love in your game." I was like, I don't know if I should take that as a compliment, but I'll roll with it.
Take it for what it's worth.
I'll take what I can get. I wonder if I'm gonna. Like, if I'm going to get my son a jersey, like, for one of these guys who's playing right now, like, Ant's young enough where 10 years from now, and my kid's a 10-year-old, he can watch him, and can get an Ant jersey, but I don't know. Maybe I should let him do his own thing first time around. We'll see.
Well, you always want to have, if you're a good role model, you got to give him that Minnesota influence because since you've been tortured all these years, you need to pass that on to your children.
Yeah.
My thought, I have an uncle who's a big Cleveland Browns fan, and he is a jersey wearer. He's a Browns. He could be at the grocery store, at a bar mitzvah, wherever. He could be at the tire shop. He's got a Browns jersey on. And to him...
I hope they're white. I hope it's the white ones.
You read my mind. And to him, that home brown jersey is like the most gorgeous thing in a Cleveland Brown fan's mind. And I just look at it as like, oh my... That's god awful. I mean, was that one of the mechanics' rags? Oh. And he thinks it's the most beautiful thing. And then it made me start thinking, so how acceptable is it if your team has god awful colors?
Oh,
because sometimes purple isn't always the best color either.
No.
And I'll switch to the white if I'm feeling it. And I do have some white jerseys. Yeah. The Culpepper one's white.
The white ones you can only salvage for the Browns. Like when they do that all white look when it's the jerseys and I just think of Josh Gordon right now. Josh Gordon, when he was grabbing all those passes, drunk and high at these games out of his mind, just snagging everything inside.
That's right.
Oh, he was crazy.
He's nuts. But that's a color like, oh man. And I didn't understand until I met other Cleveland Browns fans, and they will tell you that's the most beautiful color scheme in sports. I like, you sell like 8 a year. I mean, nobody wants them, do they? Other than maybe outside of the Cleveland metro area.
What other teams rock it? Like, I'm trying to think of who else goes with that color scheme, like in any professional sport.
Cincinnati's got a similar color scheme, but they've done a much better job of incorporating black into that orangish color.
Okay.
Because Paul Brown...
He left the Bengals, right? Left the Bengals and started his own Browns.
Right. He
Yep.
left the Bengals,
Paul Brown's
started
Browns.
Brown, took the
Yep.
colors, for the most part, colors
Yep.
with them. There is a color combination that drives me nuts. And I'm trying to remember. Oh, I hate the colors dark blue and black together. I think they clash. I think it looks terrible.
agree. I mean,
I do not like that color
I'm
scheme.
colorblind, so you're going to get an extra complaint from me because
Okay.
I'm going to be like,
Yeah, I hate that color
those
scheme.
2 shades of black.
Detroit has done something that with their silverish blue and black
Mm-hmm.
I don't care for. And God, who was it? There was another, oh man, that had black on with blue, and it just drives me. Maybe it was a college team.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's not acceptable.
What about Duke? When they go,
That's
with
the problem.
They go with the exactly.
I
think
do
you
not-
must,
bingo.
It must be Duke's the problem.
I
I'm glad
cannot.
you
When
hate
they
them,
wear
too.
their black, and I understand. I was reading here not too long ago that because there's so much money in selling jerseys,
Mm-hmm.
good money for schools and teams, that black's a popular color.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people like to wear black, so they start incorporating it. And first thing goes to my head, if I ever see the Vikings come out with black jerseys, I'm done. Black and purple doesn't always do it for me either, especially like when the Ravens do it. Or the Eagles. That's
Ooh.
another color scheme I hate. That
When the Ravens
dark green.
when the Ravens go with their all black though,
When they're all black,
those
that's
are,
one thing.
Those are much better than
with
their
a little purple
purples,
outline,
yep.
yes. But when the Eagles do it, when they're all black with the green helmets, I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
That clashes too to me. Like you don't have black in your color scheme. You
Mm-hmm.
just leave it out. I understand y'all get an alternate jersey, but not for me. And so I'm old school. I get a little nervous when the Vikings when they were going to go for their snow out, their white out
Yep.
game a couple Christmas Eves ago, and they actually kicked around the idea of a white helmet with the purple face mask with the all white.
I don't think I like the helmet with it.
No, I'm very old school that way. Nope, that jersey's. I'm fundamentally. Now I hear Denver's changing their jersey this year,
Oh, really?
which will I hate Denver's jerseys.
I always love the shift in like whenever it's like, okay, I think there's going to be a big culture change here. Let's switch up the jerseys, kind of like when the Wolves switched it up when they brought Jimmy Butler in.
Yep.
And then Butler is gone. It's like, all right, we got to switch this up again.
gotta do it again, yeah.
I think we need some neon in here or whatever it was, like a neon green. Like, God,
I kind of like that the Wolves went back to some of their old original colors.
This year, yeah,
Yeah,
those whites they rock. Ooh, those
Because
are,
it reminds you of the
those are
old days
clean.
of the T-Wolves when they played in the Metrodome. Mm-hmm. When you see that white jersey like they had on the other night and was against Utah, yeah, I was like, that reminds me. That's really close to the old days.
They've been rocking those a lot this year. Those have like kind of turned into like the new primary jerseys. But when I talked about the City Edition ones, like how I think of those when I think back to last year's team, I think of those white ones for this year's team. I see Anthony Edwards rocking one of those and tomahawking a dunk on someone's head.
Yes.
It's just, it's been a fun year. I can't get enough of it. They played tonight. They played 7 tonight. Thankfully, I've been going through withdrawals without having them in the rotation. But I'm trying to think of another like guideline we can set for this. As far as,
well, I think the purpose, like if you're going out to a fine,
Yep.
might want to.
and then there's like, but then there's the stuff like, is a white jersey classier? You know?
right. What is more formal?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're going to have a jersey formal, if you're going to say I'm going to a formal and I'm going to wear a jersey, should it be your team's home colors or should it be white?
As long as it's white, I think
I think white's always classy until you spill on it.
Yeah, then you're.
And then
SOL.
that's my problem. And then you spill on it, and then all of a sudden now you're not classy. You look like one of my family reunions, and they don't look good. So we have that problem. But I like white jerseys. I really do.
Well, you're rocking Arizona State sweatshirt right now, and
Yeah,
Arizona
that's-
State's got some clean whites.
Very clean whites.
Those are some of my favorites.
Those are some nice whites. Yeah, I like, and I'm not a big fan of maroon, but I studied law there, so I wear it. But I like the white.
Yeah, I actually don't really. I'm not a big fan of maroon myself.
No,
like
I'm
the
not.
Gophers color scheme. Also, as someone who grew up, this is separate from sweatshirts or from jerseys, but you're gonna get a similar clothing opinion from me. I don't know why. I grew up always despising crew necks. I don't know why.
Oh.
So imagine my enthusiasm for Goldie the Gopher, who like rocks a crew neck sweatshirt and like most of their logo stuff,
That's
which
right.
I always thought was really weird. But maybe him being naked would be even weirder.
That'd
but
be weirder, but
maybe a
that's
jersey would be ideal. Like I
Yeah,
don't know.
that's cringeworthy for
Yeah,
you.
exactly. And then naturally, I married someone who fell in love with crew necks. So now, like the running joke is, I buy my wife crew necks everywhere I go, and I'm just like, I can't believe you rock these.
Rocking the crew neck.
Yeah, I was like, it needs a hoodie. Like if it doesn't have a hood on it, it just doesn't look right. I don't know. Probably because I rock hoodies like every single day.
You
but
do. I've noticed that.
Yeah.
You look good in them, though.
That's my look.
But about the maroon, That's what I liked about, what era was it? The Dan Monson era, maybe late in the Clem Haskin era, where their white jerseys weren't the yellow. Mm-hmm. They were actually white, or their home jerseys, were white with the maroon. I can handle white with maroon. Mm-hmm. Like I see white Washington Redskins gear or Commanders, gear. Mm-hmm. And with the white, I can live with that because the maroon's been tapered down.
Yep.
Same with the Packer colors. I like the white because the Packers green is probably the most putrid green I've ever seen in my life. And I'm a big Bison fan, and people say, well, what's the difference? And they said,
there's a difference.
If you don't know the difference, then you need to look better.
Yep.
You need to look more.
I'm colorblind. I can tell you.
There's a difference in the Bison green, thank God, and the Packer green. Mm-hmm. But when the Packers have the white, I don't mind that as much. I think white can take out some of those ugly colors. Mm-hmm. So it might be more formal if we're talking about white or because if I walk in with let's just say a Milwaukee Bucks jersey, old school, where they had the red and the different shades of red stripes and all over God, it was everywhere. Mm-hmm. Shit everywhere. I don't know if that's, but when they had the white on, I think of Sidney Moncrief. Like that's a nice look.
Ooh.
That's a nice look.
I think of the Brandon Jennings jersey.
Yeah,
I had a college roommate who had a Brandon Jennings jersey. I was always very jealous of it. But I went to a Bucks game. My old mentor, who I mentioned earlier, he was like the guy who kind of taught me all sports coverage and stuff.
Okay.
Paid me for all of my unpaid intern work from when I was in high school by flying me out to Milwaukee. And we just partied for like 4 days.
Nice.
And he was like, we got to catch a Bucks game. And it was Giannis's breakout year. And I was like, oh, we got to hit this for sure. And he said, all right, pick your jersey. And he held up 2 just fantastic choices. I had Giannis. That's old reliable, or now it's old reliable, but at the time it's like, oh, it's the best player on the team. So, that you'll fit in with a lot of people there. Or a throwback dark purple Ray Allen jersey.
Oh my,
baby! You know what I went with on that one. That was the easiest decision of my life.
Wow!
I remember we were there playing the Lakers, and we were joking we were gonna go find Lonzo Ball's dad because he was a rookie that year, and we saw his first triple double in his career, and we were like, first of many. Like we're gonna see a lot of great things from this guy, because we thought he was gonna be a star, but then his legs went to crap.
But would the purple be appropriate?
I don't think in a formal event. I don't think so.
Okay, not in a formal event. Yeah, so I mean, that's always the question too. It depends on your team's color scheme and whatnot.
I think it's also a lot more jarring, but at the same time fun to get jerseys for players, and it's like he played for that team.
You find one of those obscure ones where he had a cup of coffee with the team.
Horace Grant, Orlando Magic. Yeah. Like, what is this? I'm trying to think of another one. Like just the weird, it's just like he was on that team, like Carmelo Anthony, one of the teams he was on for a year, or Russell Westbrook, Houston Rockets one.
Melo has a long list of teams.
Yeah, Melo's.
Jamal Crawford's
been on like a dozen teams. So
absolutely.
I remember we got him at the tail end when he was with the Wolves. So I got a little bit of the Jamal Crawford experience.
So what color do you think would be more appropriate other than white for a jersey color? We're talking about white being pretty formal, pretty nice. You walk in with white. I think I bet he has Grey Poupon. He wears a white jersey.
You could wear a black jersey to a funeral. You can
get
away with that. Yeah, depends on the.
Black is good. Like I always think Raider jerseys always look good. For example, LA Kings sweaters.
Ooh,
that black and silver is always nice. Who else is that has?
I'm a big neutral color guy, so I'm obviously going to be biased toward that too.
Yeah. And because you can't go wrong whether you're taking your jersey to a formal function or a movie, you can't go wrong with neutral colors.
Exactly. It'll just blend in with everything. It'll just match with everything.
Any shoes, anything with it.
Versatility.
So the last question, what do you wear under it?
I like a hoodie. Naturally, I'm a hoodie guy. For my basketball jerseys.
When you wear a basketball jersey, if it's chilly out, say it's early fall where you don't need a coat, what do you wear underneath it? What's appropriate?
A long sleeve tee would be good for me. I think it looks tacky with a short sleeve. I also thought it looked tacky to play in short sleeves. That's just me. I was like, dude, just ditch the undershirt because those never look good. There was one dude that my older brother played with that wore, like, I swear it was like a 3 or a 4X white tee under it every game. And he made it look good, but he's like the only one that could make it look good because he was like a wicked good shooter. So you'd see the shirt go baggy every single time he would knock a shot down, and that was a vibe. He was one of a kind. But
and there's the exception to the rule because if you're gonna wear something like that on the floor, you better be good.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like pulling up, like still in the half court circle when he was like a sophomore, and they're just like, "What is this kid doing? He's just out there chucking stuff up. He's crazy." But I think that A hoodie is always good for me. But if I'm around the house and it's like, a nice temp in my house, obviously, I'll just rock the jersey, nothing underneath it, walk around the house, be comfy, feel like I'm on the team.
Flashing the pipes, right.
Yeah, exactly. You gotta let everyone know who's boss around the house.
Heading to the scores table, that's right.
Exactly. Checking in.
Yeah, checking in. The wife's at the table waiting for you to check in.
Yeah.
List.
She puts up with me. She brought this on herself. She shouldn't have bought me that jersey.
So does she mind that you rock the NBA jerseys when you're out?
No, she was the first person I asked. I was like, "Are you cool with this? Like, is this weird? Like, I'm 30 years old, or 31 now. I just turned 31. I was like, I'm 31 years old. Should I be doing this?" And she's like, "Yeah."
So how old do you? I mean, could you be a senior citizen and rock an NBA jersey and be cool with it?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Okay.
That's another one where I'm going to be very surprised if it's not like a throwback jersey. It's I don't know how many senior citizens I'd rock up to and just be like, "Oh, that Karl Anthony Towns. Oh, boy, he really stretches the floor."
My dad used to wear NFL jerseys. That was his thing when he was in his near 60. That was his thing. He had almost every team.
Oh, my.
And then he had leather coats of the teams.
Oh, really?
Oh, God, he spent thousands of dollars on
Do you ever have a NBA windbreaker? Oh, those are elite. I miss those from the 90s.
I had a Sixers one late in the doc. Well, 80s windbreakers aren't nearly as cool as they are in the modern
90s.
era,
The 90s are.
Well, they had all the
so
color.
good.
Man, that was psychedelic colors everywhere. I had a Viking windbreaker, a Gopher windbreaker. Yeah, I was windbreaking it, and living here, it's a good idea.
Yeah, we had this guy who lived down the hall from me in college, and I mean, NBA jerseys are great, but NBA windbreakers are next level. He had two of the best windbreakers you can find. He was actually from Chicago, so he had a Chicago Bulls one. He had a red one, and he somehow topped it by having a Charlotte Hornets one as well, like a blue one.
Oh, that blue, yeah.
Man, we all love Sheldon. We were just like, "Oh, that's such a good jersey."
And they leaned on that blue in the 90s big time.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Oh my gosh. So that's an appropriate thing. Would you wear a windbreaker out and about?
Oh, for sure.
Absolutely.
If I was cool enough to pull it off, I would have to be feeling myself that day. That couldn't be like a low self-esteem out the door, grab the windbreaker.
You'd have to do a little self-check when you get up and look at your list. Okay, if I answer yes to these, I'm okay. We're windbreaker worthy today.
Yes means windbreaker. No means trench coat.
That's right.
My long black trench coat. Yeah, that'll be good.
Oh, shoot. I think we've kind of summed this up fairly well.
Oh, yeah. I think we've set enough guidelines. Windbreakers, great. Wear those as much as you can. Jerseys also, 2 big thumbs up for me at, we'll say, 70% of social events.
Yeah, 70%. Yeah,
I think that's a good number.
Right. I think that's a great one. I think that's a good one. Either wear something long sleeve tee underneath or rock with nothing underneath. None of this baggy stuff.
The only dilemma I have with the hoodie is sometimes the hoodie covers up the name a little bit, so you got to be a little conscious of that.
Right. You got so that brings the next dilemma for another time is, do you throw the hood over your head to show the name, or some people freak out over that.
Yeah. It depends where you are. If it's a situation where it doesn't look like you're about to rob somebody, I think you're okay.
That's the problem, right. Yeah, if you're coming into a C store and you have your hands in your pocket like that, you might have, there
Guilty.
might be some.
That's been me.
No common sense, me too.
I'm glad I'm not the only one.
Well, buddy, this was a fun time. We're going to do this again. We'll find up goofy topics because people bring it up to us all the time. And there'll be other episodes. I'll have other guests on, but Turner, been a good time, bud.
I appreciate you, TJ. That was a blast.
See you later, everybody.
All right, take care.